up, y'all? Today I'm here to do my playoff predictions for the playoffs. So, this is what my playoff predictions look like. Let's start at the top. So, the Jags versus Chargers. Now, this is a tough one. I really think this game could go either way. I decided ultimately to pick the Chargers, even though they're a little more injured and banged up, because normally in these types of games in the playoffs, the better quarterback's team comes out on top, and Herbert is the better quarterback. I think he's a top three quarterback right now, only behind Allen and Mahomes. Him and Burrow are kind of interchangeable at 3 and 4, but either way, Trevor's probably at 6 or 7, so I think Herbert will come out on top. I know they're a little banged up, as I said, but I think Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Herbert will be too much for the Jaguars to beat and to handle. But it's going to be a fun game for sure. Two quarterbacks with their first time in the playoffs, their first playoff game. Two elite quarterbacks. It's going to be a fun game to watch. And yeah, I really do think it's going to be a close one and it could go either way. But I got the Chargers winning this one in a nail biter. Now the Bills-Dolphins. Tua might play, but I really hope they don't play him. I'm a big Tua fan, and 3 concussions in 1 year. Just keep his health intact. Don't play him. Don't risk it. And the Bills should win in a blowout and shouldn't even be close. Bengals, Ravens. Now, this one is another one that I think won't be too close. I think the Bengals will win by 2 scores, like 10 or 14. I know week 18, the Ravens didn't play a lot of their starters, and didn't even have Lamar, but I still think this Bengals team has been looking really good. They haven't lost in the month of December. So I think they'll continue that win streak. That offense is clicking on all cylinders. The offense looks really good. Joe Burrow looks really good. And they should win this one pretty easily. Now on to the NFC. Bucks and Cowboys. This one is tough. I do think the Cowboys are kind of overrated, but so are the Bucks. They barely snuck into the playoffs, only made it because of a very weak division. And Brady didn't even have a winning season. And I hate to bet against Brady in the playoffs, but this team really hasn't looked good all year. I think the Chargers defense, Micah Parsons, is going to be a lot to handle. And Dak can do just enough to win this game. I think the Cowboys win a close one, probably by 3, maybe a little more than that, and head on to the second round of the playoffs. But then again, this one could also go either way, but I am going to go with the Cowboys. Their defense looks really good. Even though it did get exposed, it was still week 18, and quarterback they didn't game plan for it at all, so it happens. I think the Cowboys win this one. 49ers and Seahawks. Wow, the 49ers have been impressive. Since they fell to 3-4, they have won 10 straight games and scored over 30 in 7 of them, with half of those being with Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan is scheming Brock Purdy into winning games. He is a mastermind. I don't want to bet against him in the playoffs. Geno has been good, but the 49ers defense is really good. They shut out the Saints the other week. They are good. They are forced to be reckoned with. Nick Bosa is going to eat on that offensive line. I think the 49ers win this one by 10 or more. And then last but not least, the Vikings and the Giants. Now, I know a lot of people think the Vikings are frauds, and I've been one who was high on the Vikings all year. But I think the Vikings do win this one. I don't know if I trust Daniel Jones in the playoffs. I know Kirk's playoff resume isn't too good, but he's still a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. But the key factor in this one is Justin Jefferson. When you got the best wide receiver in the NFL, when you get him in a playoff scenario, he's going to do good. He's going to carry the team on his back. And I don't think the Giants have any answers for that. And all the Vikings got to do is feed JJ the ball, and they'll win the game. And I got the Vikings winning this by 7-6. A pretty close one, but I still think they win it. And they will continue on in the playoffs. Now, Chiefs-Chargers. This one's tough. It's always tough to beat a team twice in the same year, but beating one team 3 times in the same year is obviously even more difficult. But why I'm giving the Chiefs the edge here is Patrick Mahomes. I never want to bet against Patrick Mahomes. The things he does is crazy, and the Chiefs really seem to have the Chargers number, and they just have more playoff experience. They have more playoff experience, better coach, not a better roster, but like they play to their strengths a lot better than the Chargers because of the coaching. And coaching, it matters a lot in football. And the Chiefs have miles better coaching. And I think they'll win this one by about 7. Now, Bills Bengals. Wow, this one is very tough for me to predict. It honestly could go either way. And I really could see either of these teams also advancing to the Super Bowl. Even though I don't have it in my predictions, I could really see it happening. And it was tough for me to pick who won. I think the Bills win this because they'll be more reinvigorated fighting for DeMar. Like, they're doing this for him. They're playing for him. They want to win for him. So I got the Bills winning a nail biter, but this is going to be tough. A very close game. Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the NFL, so I think he can out edge Joe Burrow in this. This is going to be a shootout for sure. It's going to be a great game, fun to watch. But yeah, I think the Bills win this in a nail biter, but I could totally see the Bengals winning. Now, Cowboys, Eagles. This one also could go either way for me. This one's really hard. The the Eagles were putting up points with Gardner Minshew on the Cowboys' elite defense. So I do think with Hurts and their offense getting more healthy, they should win this one. I think the Eagles win by 7, but I could also see the Cowboys winning it. It's a divisional grudge match. There's going to be high tensions. It's going to be a grudge fest. It's going to be fun to watch, and I do have the Eagles winning it. Now, 49ers Vikings, I think this will be an absolute blowout. 49ers defense will completely shut down JJ because they have all the pieces to do that. And then the Vikings don't really have any other receivers or weapons that can make them pay if they focus all their attention on Justin Jefferson. And that is an elite defense. And, Nick Bosa is going to cause havoc on that offensive line. The Vikings don't have a terrible offensive line, but it's definitely not good. So, yeah, the 49ers D-line should feast, and I think the 49ers win this one easily. Now, Chiefs-Bills. Again, I think the Chiefs are just the better team here. The Chiefs are not the better team here, sorry. But they have Patrick Mahomes who can make them win. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but he does make a lot of mistakes. Fumbles, untimely interceptions. And I think he'll make 1 or 2 mistakes that Mahomes won't make in this game. And the Chiefs will win this one in a nail-biter, I think by 4 or less points. And they'll advance to another Super Bowl. And then Eagles 49ers. I don't think this one will be too close. I think the 49ers by 10. The defense will just be too much. The Eagles are dealing with a lot of injuries, and Kyle Shanahan knows how to scheme so well. Their defense will be too much for Jalen Hurts in his first real playoff experience. It'll be his second playoff game if they make it this far. Nick Bosa will cause trouble. They're just not going to be able to run the ball well, in my opinion. And I think the Niners win this by 10 and advance to the Super Bowl, and we get another Chiefs 49ers rematch. And then I think it'll go the same way it did last time. The AFC is just way better than the NFC because a lot of the NFC teams are just fraud watch, like the Vikes, the Cowboys, the Eagles. So I think the Chiefs win this Super Bowl rematch. Not particularly close, maybe by 10 or more points. And yeah, even though the Niners defense is too much, it's Mahomes. I wouldn't bet against Mahomes, especially in the playoffs where he just turns superhuman. And yeah, Mahomes wins his second Super Bowl. Thank you for watching.